Alright, this is the third video in the top-down modeling process of our construction blocks. And with that, we're going to go ahead and make sure that our top level is active. So for our assembly, and I'm going to go ahead and hide all these other construction blocks. Then that way I can go ahead and create a new component. On this one, I'm going to go ahead and name this one the cylinder and select OK. When I create a new sketch, I'm actually going to choose not the front work plane, and all my other parts I've been doing the front work plane. I'm actually going to choose this one that's facing toward the top. I do want to capture the position. I'm going to grab the center diameter circle. If you don't see it in your ribbon, you can always click on the create panel. From the drop down, choose center diameter circle. The center point will be placed right on the origin, which is the first selection. And then here's the diameter. I'm going to go ahead and just click to set a circle in there. Grab sketch dimension. And this is going to be 1 1/8 inches in diameter. And I'm going to go ahead and cancel, get off the sketch dimension tool. And then I'm going to go ahead and select finish sketch. Select the home icon. So I like to go through and get that placed in the right position. And I'm going to extrude this shape to be 2 5/16 tall. We'll grab an appearance. And we'll drop yellow on there. I'll go ahead and I'm going to make sure to hit the save button periodically. Save early, save often. I'm going to go ahead and turn these blocks back on and go ahead and activate our top level. So there's where our cylinder is. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move it down the line. Let's check to see what it looks like from the right side. And let's line it up a little bit. And there we go. So, alright, so our next one is going to be the semicircle. And again, I like to hide all these just because it gets a little less confusing. Making sure the top level is active. Click create. Choose a new component. So this one here, semicircle, select OK, create a sketch, choose the front plane, we'll capture the position. I'm going to do a center diameter circle, choosing again the origin as the starting point. This one here, that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type it in as we're drawing. So 11/16 is the measurement there. It looks pretty small. So again, we're dealing with a radius rather than a diameter. So I'm going to do ×2. So I'm going to press the shift, and you're going to see that this is the kind of measurement that I get. 11/16, and then the star, which is, or the asterisk, which is the shift and number 8 on your keyboard, and then the number 2. And then here's what's going to happen is Fusion's going to evaluate that expression to give us what the actual radius will be. And we're actually going to take a line, and I'm going to go ahead and put the line right here. I'm actually going to kind of touch just the origin. So you'll see these blue little tracking lines. So if I just touch it, again, I'm not clicking, I'm just moving my cursor to it. Once I see an X right here on the edge, I'm going to click, and I'm going to go across, and I'm going to click on the other side. So here's what's going to happen is that this line may be able to kind of shift a little bit. We'll see what will happen here. So I'm actually going to select coincident, select the line, and select the origin. So that way it will lock into place and turns black. So we'll talk a little bit. So there's another video I have on geometric constraints we can look at. To create that semicircle, I'm going to actually grab under the modify panel the pair of scissors or the trim tool, or if you click modify you can find trim, and I'm going to trim the bottom half away by clicking on the part that I do not want. So there we are. There's our semicircular shape. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish the sketch, put this into the home view, and the depth on this should be, I believe it should be about 1 1/8 inches. So again, 1.125, one too many decimals in there, but 1.125, hit enter, and there we go. There is our semicircle, and we can go ahead and grab an appearance. And we'll select close. Same kind of scenario. If I turn on all the blocks for the visibility, activate the top level, we'll see them all. And now I can go through and kind of set them all in the next line here. Drag this one down. Let's look at it from the right. That one lined up pretty well. And now all I have is one more, which is going to be the arch block. So again, I'm going to hide all these. And then I'm going to go ahead and select create, new component. This one's going to be called the arch. Create a new sketch. I'm going to choose the front plane for this one, capturing the position. This one I'm going to go ahead and do a 2-point rectangle to start this one out. The height on this is going to be 1 1/8 inches. The width will be 2 5/16. And on this one I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch and extrude this out to be an 1 1/8 inches. So this will serve as the starting point of our arch block. Now, just to kind of show, this is going to be one of the construction blocks that kind of gets you into some terms of additive and subtractive modeling. So we did an additive process to create the material here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a sketch, and we're going to cut out the arch, so or that semicircular shape. Now when I go to select, I want to make sure I click on the face of this block and not on the work plane. So I actually want to click on the face when it highlights. And I'm going to do the exact same operation as what I did before. I'm going to grab a center diameter circle, and right along the bottom here you're going to see that if I just move my cursor right to the middle, I should see an X and I should see a little blue triangle symbol. That's the midpoint of that line. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that when I see it, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw this out. And I'm going to go ahead and type in, just like what I did the last time, 11/16 times 2, and I'll select enter. And I'm going to go ahead and take that line tool and do the exact same kind of operation and trim away the bottom part of that circle. So then that way I get a nice closed loop profile. You may get a warning that says some dimensions or constraints were removed. That's normal. In this case, a lot of times with trimming. I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. This time when I select extrude, I'm going to have to either select what kind of profile that I want, because I could choose this or I could choose this. So I'm going to click on this face, and then I want to send, I'm going to drag this back, and you can see this is going to cut away. If I go forward, it adds. That's an additive process. If I go backward, it's going to cut. The red shows that it's going to cut away. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to be a negative 1 1/8. And then go ahead and select OK, and you can see the operation is set to cut. So there's our arch block, and here I can kind of rotate this around to see it. I'm going to go ahead and grab an appearance on here. And let's do white. We'll drop white on there. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate the top level. Turn on the other construction blocks. This will be our last one. Let me drag our arch block down here to the end. That one lined up really well. So there's all of our construction blocks. If we need to maybe move this down just a little bit more. So there we go. So there are all of our construction blocks, all within the same file, all these components. If I select one, you'll see where it highlights in the graphics area, and there finishes those out. So what we can do is go ahead and hit save. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to take these, put them onto a drawing, and then that way you can export that drawing out as a PDF and turn this into your teacher if they're grading it via having a drawing rather than maybe just a visual check on the blocks.